Hello, comrades, and welcome back to the Soviet Log. Today I would like to share with you my thoughts about minimum wage. Now, I'm very confused about this topic. Actually, I'm generally a very confused person, because sometimes when I'm angry or if I'm drunk and I'll be speaking Russian, I could blurt out English words, or if I speak English and I'm angry, there'll be some Russian words coming out of my mouth. So about the same how I feel about minimum wage. Several viewers ask me, do I consider myself socialist or communist, whatever. I think I am left-leaning libertarian, although I don't know if that makes any sense. So I'm kind of, after spending 20 years of my life in Soviet Union, which the whole country was under complete government control, I'm not a big fan of total government control, but on the other hand, on many things I'm kind of on the left side of the thing. So anyway, this is what I think about minimum wage. So as I said, I don't like when the government tell private business how much to pay their workers. It just doesn't sound right. But unfortunately, in many cases, businesses, because they are in pursuit of maximum profit, they're just not willing to pay people decent wage. And then, United States right now, we have this huge difference between how much CEOs getting paid, and like hundreds of 200, 300 times more than regular workers. Although, for example, in a retail business, we have Sam's Club, which owned by Walmart, and then we have Costco, which runs same kind of this warehouse business. And Costco always was paying almost twice more for their workers than Walmart did, and somehow they still managed to pull the profit and make money. And everyone is happy with customer service in Costco because people like working there. But the main reason why I really hate this game that American government plays and other governments. So first of all, they create the problem of low pay by making sure we have inflation. This is like a big mantra, big deal for Federal Reserve and United States government to make sure that we have inflation somewhere between 2 to 3%, although I think sometimes looking how the prices change, we probably have inflation 5 to 10% a year. But I look at the inflation as another tax applied to my income, because if the tax was at 3%, the inflation was 3% a year, that means for every $1,000 that I earn, government quietly takes away $30. Next year, out of my $970, it takes another $28 or whatever. So it's quietly stealing my own money in the name of progress, I guess, because it's considered that inflation is really good for economy. It entices people to invest, which sounds really ridiculous. I can't picture that in a regular American family, wife will be like, honey, Federal Reserve just announced they reached their goal of 3%, so I would like to sit down with you. We need to look at our investments and rearrange which stocks are we buying or where we keep our money, because I really worry about inflation and stuff like that, So that's not happening, right? So my point is that the government creates the problem by diluting regular workers' salaries, because, if you're $10 an hour with 3% inflation and not increasing minimum wage, it slowly become worth less and less. Then at some point, when people really start struggling and start complaining, then same government started to say, we need to take care of our people. We need to raise their minimum wage. Well, you guys created the problem in the first place. If you won't be diluting the American dollar or whatever the currency you have in whatever country, then we won't have this problem of constant arguing and fights over increasing minimum wage, right? So government creates the problem, then they kind of play a good guy after being a bad, naughty guy for years. And they like, well, we need to take care of our poor people. We need to raise their minimum wage. And now I want to talk a little bit about Bernie Sanders' $15 an hour offer, to have a minimum wage raised to $15 an hour. And it was a huge uproar. Everyone was saying, hey, we can't afford this. This is way too much. Businesses will close. There'll be actual loss of jobs because, people can't afford to hire people and they'll make them let go. I just want to share with you this interesting moment that happened with me while I'm writing or actually translating now my book, American Diaries. So I have a book, I've already mentioned it several times, that I wrote about my experiences coming to America in 1995. It's called American Diaries. And now I'm working and translating it into English. Book is actually translated, but there's a lot of things I still need to polish and make it readable. So while working on research, I found a couple interesting details about this $15 an hour deal. So check this out. When I came in 1995, I managed to find a job after I worked at the summer camp at the local farm here in Michigan. And at that time, the minimum wage was $5 an hour. So it's 1995. I worked for $5 an hour. Cash, of course. And while I was writing my story, after camp was over, I had a chance to go and visit Niagara Falls. And one of the attractions at Niagara is a so-called Cave of the Winds. And at that time, every dollar was like a lot of money for me. So I was actually keeping the record of prices. Tickets to go to Cave of the Winds in 1995 were $5. So I decided to expand my book and tell more of my Russian readers, because at that time I was writing a book in Russian, to tell them more about this cave. So I Googled, searched more about the cave, about this history of this attraction. And of course their website came up, and I'm like, I wonder how much they charge right now for the tickets. And guess what? Cave of the Winds charged $15 per ticket in 2017. So look, it was $5 in 1995, and the minimum wage was $5. Now in Michigan, minimum wage when I was writing the book was like $7.50 or something, or $8 an hour, but tickets to Cave of the Winds were $15. So you see what I'm going? It was $5. So for my 1 hour of work at the farm, I could buy a ticket. Now, if I was still working at the farm at the minimum wage at $7.50 an hour, now I won't be able. I need to work for 2 hours to buy exactly the same ticket to go to the same attraction. So it piqued my curiosity, and I remembered that in 1996, we also went to Kalamazoo, which has an air museum. And I checked my diary, and sure enough, tickets in 1996, so 1 year later, in Kalamazoo Air Museum were also one ticket was $5. Of course, okay, I'll tell you what happened. When we were looking, I was like, man, I really don't want to spend $5. Then I noticed that there was no one at that museum sitting at the exit. So, when you go to the entry, there's a lady that should check your ticket. And then you go and look at the airplanes inside of this big hangar, big building. And then there was no one on the exit. It was just the open door, wide open door. So I look at my friends like, we can just walk right from the exit and enjoy the show, explore the exhibition without paying any money. I was really naughty. I'm very sorry about that. So once again, I became very, very curious, and I went on a Kalamazoo Air Museum website, and guess what? Right now, their tickets are also like $16 per ticket. So once again, when the minimum wage was $5, you could get a ticket for $5. So 1 hour work will take care of going into museum. Now, if you work at the minimum wage, you have to work for 2 hours. So in reality, in this period of what is like 20 some years, right? 95. So about 20 some, 25 years, actual pay for people who work at the minimum wage dropped 50%. And I just compare for these kind of things because both of these businesses, they calculate their expenses and they know that the expenses went up. So they were slowly raising prices for their tickets with years, while the minimum wage, which is a government job to raise, was lagging behind. And this is how I think people feel they like more poor than before, and they feel squeezed is because it's salary being destroyed by inflation is not keeping up with the prices. So this is my idea that, I really hate that the government controls the minimum wage and tells the businesses how much to pay to their people. At the same time, we have the situation that actually Bernie's idea of $15 is right on the money, because it's really primitive examples, but I was shocked those tickets were exactly $15 per ticket, matching what Bernie was saying that we need to get paid per hour. And I bet you if we compare, prices for groceries and stuff like that, it probably will be very close. So that's my thoughts about minimum wage in the United States, and I would like you guys to share your ideas, see what you think, and so please comment under this video, and don't forget to share my videos and my channel with your friends, and we'll talk to you soon. До свидания. Goodbye.
And if you love my channel and would like to show your support, please click on the link below this video and become the patron of the Ushanka Show. For as little as $1, you can help us grow and create the new, interesting videos about the life in Soviet Union.